you ever wondered why everything around us keeps getting more expensive? From your morning coffee to your rent? Join me as I dive deep into the world of inflation and uncover what's really driving these price hikes. Inflation is a term you hear a lot about in the news, but what does it actually mean? Simply put, inflation is when the things we buy, like food, housing, and clothes, start to cost more money over time. It's like if your favorite coffee shop raised the price of your morning latte from $3 to $4. That might not seem like a lot, but when it happens across the board, it can have a big impact on our wallets. We've all seen it happen. Prices go up, and suddenly the money in our pockets doesn't go as far as it used to. It's not just about being able to afford our favorite treats. It's about being able to afford the necessities like food and housing. When inflation rises, it can be really tough for people on fixed incomes or those who are already struggling to make ends meet. The truth is, inflation affects us all, whether we're rich or poor. It's not just an economic issue. It's a personal issue. When prices rise, it can be hard to adjust our spending habits, especially if we're used to living a certain way. So, what's behind this increase in prices? That's what we're going to explore today. Rising prices can make it tough to afford the things we need and love. Imagine being able to afford a new video game or a night out with friends, but then prices go up, and suddenly you can't afford it anymore. That's what inflation does. It steals our purchasing power. Prices rise. It's not just about being able to afford stuff. It's about feeling like we're being priced out of the things that matter to us. It's like being on the outside looking in, watching as others enjoy things that we can no longer afford. Inflation can also have a ripple effect on our savings. If we're saving for a big purchase like a house or a car, inflation can erode the value of our savings over time. It's like we're working hard to save money, but inflation is working against us. The impact of inflation on our daily lives can't be overstated. It's not just about prices. It's about our quality of life. When prices rise, it can be hard to make ends meet, and that can lead to stress and anxiety. We've all felt the pinch of inflation at one time or another. It's like being in a constant state of financial stress, never knowing when prices will rise again. The effects of inflation can be far-reaching, and it's not just about individual consumers. Businesses and investors feel the effects too. When prices rise, it can be hard to predict what will happen next. So, what drives inflation? A big part of it has to do with supply and demand. When there's high demand for something like a new iPhone, businesses can raise their prices. It's like they're saying, hey, people really want this, so let's charge more for it. Supply chain disruptions can also drive inflation. When there's a shortage of something, like a drought that affects wheat crops, prices can rise. It's like a domino effect. One thing happens, and then prices go up. Government policies can also play a role in inflation. When there's more money circulating in the economy, it can drive up prices. It's like too much money is chasing too few goods. Other factors, like increased consumer spending and wage increases, can also contribute to inflation. When people have more money to spend, businesses can raise their prices. But here's the thing. Inflation isn't just about one or two factors. It's complex, and there are many things at play. So, what's the most significant insight regarding inflation's impact on specific goods or services? For me, it's the way inflation affects food prices. When food prices rise, it can be really tough for people who are already struggling to make ends meet. The impact on food prices is real-world, and it's not just about being able to afford a meal out. It's about being able to feed our families. Inflation's impact on housing prices is another big concern. When housing prices rise, it can be hard for people to afford a place to live. The effects of inflation on specific goods and services are real, and they're not just economic issues. They're personal issues. To sum it up, inflation is a complex issue that's driven by many factors, including supply and demand, government policies, and consumer spending. When prices rise, it can be tough for consumers, especially those on fixed incomes. The key points to take away are that inflation affects us all, and it's not just an economic issue. It's a personal issue. When prices rise, it can be hard to adjust our spending habits. The main ideas here are that inflation is real. It's driven by many factors, and it has a real-world impact on our lives. So, what can we do? We can start by being aware of the factors that drive inflation and how they affect us. If you've made it this far, I'd love to hear your thoughts on inflation in the comments. What do you think is driving price increases? Share your thoughts. If you're interested in learning more about inflation and how it affects the economy, check out our next video on the topic. Thanks for watching.